Okay, guys, so welcome back to a new video here. So, yesterday we talked about Joe Rogan basically refusing to host Benjamin Netanyahu on his podcast, but now we're going to talk about something completely different with Joe Rogan. Basically, in my opinion, it seems like he's covering for Trump and the Epstein file debacle, okay? And we're going to show you a video of Joe Rogan basically addressing the Epstein files, but not bringing up Trump directly by name, which is frankly pretty wild stuff. And oh, by the way, guys, Joe Rogan for years, along with many of the other podcasters, and a lot of them have been bringing it up, like Tim Dillon, for example, Andrew Schultz, and they have been going after Trump. Less so Tim Dillon, but then Joe Rogan's been bringing it up. Of course, he had Kash Patel on the podcast a month or two ago, and basically he was grilling about the Epstein files, and he was like, yeah, they don't even exist. And Rogan's like, what? And he even said, yeah, I didn't even push back on him because, he thought, what is he going to do? Tell me the truth? Like, again, this is also the difference, guys, with new media and mainstream media. If mainstream media did the same thing, all these alternate media guys would be destroying them. But it's Rogan. He can just say, oh, I'm a comedian. I don't need to ask him the tough questions. But again, Rogan seems to be blaming everyone but Trump. And it's pretty wild to me because he's asking all these questions about Pam Bondi, Kash Patel. Why are they lying? What could possibly be their motivation? It's almost like he's like avoiding Occam's razor. The most obvious answer, guys, is that Trump is directing them to cover it up. Trump is today saying that he actually might be in the files because it was planted by the Democrats. There's reports that Pam Bondi told him he was in the files. Of course, a Wall Street Journal article with a creepy letter he's sending to Jeffrey Epstein. But Joe's not even bringing this up. He's blaming everybody but Trump. It's genuinely bizarre. And maybe this is the problem when you go get dinner with the president. Maybe your opinion on him is going to be compromised and you're not going to be able to give your full honest take because you're friends with the guy. He's not objective anymore. And listen, Joe can make that choice. It's fine. But clearly he's not being totally objective. This was the other way around. This was the Democrats. This was Joe Biden. Could you imagine what Rogan would be saying? It would be completely turned around. He's blaming everybody but Trump. It's genuinely insane. And we're going to show you the clip here, and we'll talk about it after. And it'll just show you how Rogan just completely cannot be objective on the issue of Trump. Even when he's criticizing many policies, it's directed towards the administration as opposed to Trump himself, which is very telling. Again, the fact that the JRE experience basically posted a 20-minute video of him talking about it. And in the entire video, he directly does not blame Trump. And if you look at the comments of that video, guys, a lot of the people are noticing it too. They're like, oh, it's very telling that Rogan is not bringing up Trump. It's because he's friends with him now. It's very, very telling. And Rogan, number one thing was he always talked about the Epstein files. And now you're not even going to talk about it and Trump's potential involvement when all of the writing on the wall is right there. I mean, whether or not he's actually implicated, and I've talked about it in the past, you can see some of my other videos, how do you not even bring it up? It's genuinely bizarre. So here's a clip and we'll talk about it after. And guys, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's super good for the algorithm. My Patreon link is down below as well. Thank you guys for watching. Here's a clip and we'll talk about it after.
There's no video. That doesn't make any sense. Everyone knows it doesn't make any sense. And then he didn't know about the Michael Baden stuff, the autopsy stuff, where it showed that he had 3 broken bones in his neck, which never happens when you hang yourself. Even when you leap from somewhere with a rope around your neck and it snaps your neck, you never have 3 broken bones. He's in a prison cell.
He's not launching himself off the first floor balcony.
The whole thing was nuts. And then he's like, well, we have a film. We're going to release that film. And the film has a fucking minute missing from it.
Yeah.
Do you think we're babies? What is this?
Also, you got people, including Dan Bongino, right, making bank for a couple of years talking about how awful it is, and we got to get this shit, and this is a huge conspiracy, and then you release a 2-page memo that says, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah, because you're walking by your bedroom window and you see a little laser, red laser moving across your chest.
Yeah, but it really is. It's so look, you know me, I'm not a conspiracy guy by nature.
Are today.
But I am today. Today, I'm fully on board with this shit.
Everybody's in today.
Yeah, no, but they're actually doing right as we speak. And I find this fascinating is that the Assistant Attorney General Todd Blanche is down in Florida for an interview with Ghislaine Maxwell. Right? And she's serving 20 years in a Florida prison for sex trafficking. Right?
To who though?
What's that?
To who?
Well, he's down there to interview her.
But I'm saying she's sex trafficked to
who? She was a co-conspirator of Epstein's, right?
But don't you have to have a person who you're sex trafficking to?
Exactly. And they talked about the victims somewhat during her trial. It was it was a very difficult trial in the sense of, they're trying to protect certain victims and others were coming forward. But, my surprise was nobody from DOJ has ever, according to her legal team, nobody has ever interviewed her from DOJ. right? So, Department of Justice. So this is the first time the Department of Justice, you're telling me, and meanwhile, up on Capitol Hill, you got Democrats like Adam Schiff and others going, we have got to release these fucking files. They had 4 years under the previous administration, right?
Yeah.
Look, everybody's fucked in this situation, but they had all that time to do whatever they wanted to do. And nobody, up until this point, apparently has talked to her. Now, you know, some folks on the legal side are saying, well, look, if she had anything interesting to say, she would have said it during the course of her trial, right, to save herself or to cut a deal.
No.
But now
I don't think so.
I don't.
They'll kill her.
Yeah. Well,
the smartest thing for her to do is to keep her fucking mouth shut, which is what she did.
Right.
They put her in a cushy prison where she could do yoga.
Yeah. Yoga in prison. That doesn't sound good.
Here's one of my favorite ones. I'm gonna send you this, Jamie, because somebody tweeted this and it's just so perfect. And it just shows you how crazy this whole thing has been, like, from the very beginning. This is someone tweeted this from the Atlantic, and this is what's funny about this. Check this out, Jamie. So,
okay, guys, and I want to address this too. First of all, again, he brings up Ghislaine Maxwell, how they met with Ghislaine Maxwell. How do you not bring up the fact? First of all, the person who's meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell is the Deputy Attorney General of the United States, Todd Blanche. And what do we know about Todd Blanche? Todd Blanche was Donald Trump's lawyer, personal lawyer. Maybe they're meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell because, oh, okay, well, you're going to basically testify against people who are not Trump, probably Democrats, give the name of the people, and then you'll protect Trump in exchange for a pardon. You don't even bring up that possibility. And Elon Musk seems to agree with me on this, by the way, because this post, and I could totally see this happening. Here's how it's about to go down. Ghislaine names a bunch of Democrats, maybe tosses in a few billionaires. She says Trump did nothing wrong. MAGA praises her for taking down the pedophiles, quote unquote. Trump pardons her for, quote unquote, telling the truth. And Elon Musk goes basically, yeah, right on point. And I think that is totally fair. I think that could totally happen. And I don't think it might be in the near future that happens. When they asked Trump about the pardon, he says, yeah, I have the right to do it. He's always spoken positively about Maxwell. I wish her well, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very, very if he pardons her, I mean, it's basically indefensible. I mean, it would be the most obvious cover-up of all time. And I'd be curious what people like Joe Rogan would say about this, because, I mean, that would just be completely indefensible. But they seem to defend the indefensible in many cases. And to be totally frank with you guys, I mean, the fact that Rogan can't even bring it up, it just, for me, it shows that he's just afraid to criticize Trump because of his personal relationship with him at this point. I mean, especially the way he's talked about it. He said, if you were talking about the Epstein files, you were not a supporter of MAGA and Trump. That is beyond insane. I mean, if a Democrat said, if you keep talking about a certain story that's negative to me, that you actually don't support me, I don't want your support, it would be a nuclear bomb. But Trump can just get away with saying this. I've literally never seen anything like it. And the fact that Rogan just, again, he just seems to be very soft on the issue, especially when he was talking about it for years on his podcast, for years. And Trump is obviously covering it up for whatever reason. He's not directly attacking him for it. And I think it's very, very telling. So I don't know. I think he's very soft on this issue. And I think it's because of his personal relationship with him. That's what I think, guys. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Again, make sure to like and subscribe. Super good for the algorithm. Pretty wild stuff going on right now. I'm not very high on new media because, again, if mainstream media was doing this, they would be getting destroyed by the same people who are now protecting Trump. Joe Rogan, for example. It's such a joke. It's such a joke. So let me know what you think in the comments too, guys. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night, and I'll see you.